absolutely. The entrance to Memorial Stadium in Lincoln reads, "Through these gates past the greatest fans in college football." A new film showing tonight on the super screen at the Hastings Museum puts that statement to the test. Here's a look.
It's an exclusive club, and it's one that I'm certainly glad to be a part of.
We're all of the same family. We're all kind of raised the same way.
Visual footwear and apparel fighter of the Husker.
There's so much tradition here.
You can't touch it. It's not tangible.
Well, they don't know it ain't just a football game. It's for Nebraska pride.
That's when I realized that it's something bigger than I even really thought about.
This is it. This is all we focus our attention on.
That's the passion that we have. That's the passion of Nebraska fans. That's something that's special.
I want other people to feel it. I want other people to know what it's like to be a Nebraska football fan.
That's tonight at Hastings Museum. Joining us this morning, the director/producer of Through These Gates, Ryan Tweedy, and from HuskerMax.com, David Max. Also, sometimes people know you as Big Red Max. Is that correct? Absolutely. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us this morning. Ryan, let me start with you. You live in Los Angeles now, but is it fair to say that your heart has really never left Lincoln, has it?
Yeah. Lincoln's my hometown. Always will be. Grew up there. Went to Lincoln High.
So you're working in the entertainment industry now. What was sort of the desire to do a Husker movie for you?
Well, I think one of my big things is I only work on projects that I find fun, things that I want to do, and I don't like to do things that I don't have interest in. So so there's that. And then the whole way this whole idea sort of came together was we were working on a film in India, in the Himalayan mountains, and we were interviewing this Buddhist nun in a cave, or she lived in a cave.
Okay.
She lived in a cave for 10 years. She left the cave, started a nunnery. We were interviewing her about that. After that interview, she asked me where I'm from. And I said, oh, I'm from Nebraska. And she goes, the Cornhuskers? And there was that moment of like, man, it really is worldwide.
Yeah.
And the director of that film started, saying, hey, that's crazy. Let's do something about that. And we started spitballing ideas, and that's what we came up with.
And now the movie is there. And David, you've been following the Huskers for about 50 years now. You talk a little bit about not just Husker Nation, but also a global community of Husker fans.
It really is. I mean, if you look at the demographics from the website, at least 50% or 45 to 50% is outside the state of Nebraska, and it is global. I mean, we have a large military connection that, from Afghanistan and Germany and Japan and all over that communicate with us, and it is a global phenomenon.
And you've mentioned before about 6 degrees of separation. You think with Husker fans it's actually about 3 degrees.
3 or less.
Yes.
We're finding that out on this tour because I went to high school for 2.5 years in Ainsworth, and I've met people from Ainsworth in 3 of the last 4 screenings that we've had.
So tonight at the Hastings Museum, 6 p.m. and 8 p.m., they'll get to see the movie and also your book, which is 50 years of Husker history there as well, and a chance to talk to you guys. When they sit down and see the movie, they're going to be immersed in Husker stuff. Tell us some of the storylines that are part of that.
Well, I think the main thing is that, and Dave talks about this a lot, is that you're going to see yourself in the film. I mean, when I made it, I was very conscious of wanting to make sure that it was that when you watch it, you go, oh yeah, that's me. And then some of the storylines are just the walk-ons, Team Jack. We spoke to Jan Beringer about Brooke. We have an astronaut in the film that's crazy. I never thought, NASA sent me pictures. I never thought I would get an email from NASA.
And you'll find Clay Anderson big fans here in Hastings because he was a Hastings College boy as well going back. So the Clay Anderson connection will be very well known. And your book, let's talk about that a little bit. It's 50 years you've been following the Huskers and the highs and the lows of Huskers.
Well, my parents my dad bought season tickets when they built the South End Zone in 1964. And we still sit in those same seats. I'll be sitting there this week. And my first actual memory was Bob Devaney's first game in 1962, which was a South Dakota game. And at our tailgate last weekend was Larry Tomlinson from the 1963 team from O'Neill. And I lived in Page, by O'Neill. And that was, everybody remembers Lyle Bremser on the radio and stuff, before the days and the Thanksgiving Day games with Oklahoma. At that time, we lived in Ainsworth, and when we got the tickets, and you know, one of the big things, a new kid moving into town, was I got to pick somebody, a friend, to go to a game. And I've had people at my 30-year reunion come up and say, "Hey, your dad took me to my first Husker game." So that's kind of
decades
some
of fandom we will see as well. So again, 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. tonight at the Hastings Museum, and a full tailgate party going on as well as part of this, right?
Yep. You'll be, oh, and they are accommodating for the heat, so there will be tables inside if it's too hot.
Excellent. And DVDs and the books available, as well as a chance to meet and talk with both of you guys. So,
if that's your thing.
A lot of Go Big Red happening tonight at Hastings Museum. Ryan, David, thank you for joining us this morning. We appreciate you getting up early with us. Stay with us. We're back with more News 5 today.